righty then. We got a big show for you today. We got a big group of people here. Check this out. Dave Bacon, Dave Burris, Tiffany. What's happening, everybody? Welcome.
Fishing, hopefully. That's the main gig here.
Yep. And Tiffany's going to show us some cool stuff. That is an amazing wrap you got going on in the middle of the screen. And we'll drop people off, put people back on as we explain what's going on. We got all kinds of stuff. But Dave Bacon, always a pleasure to see you, sir.
Well, thank you, sir. And I'm planning on doing an interesting talk today about how people can get into rod building as a business.
Oh, cool. Perfect. Dave Burris, how you feeling today, champ?
Well, I'm feeling all right. How are you doing, David?
I'm good. I just drove 100 million miles an hour. I literally pulled in my driveway 1 second ago, and here I am. Bam.
Oh, wow. That's quick.
Yeah, I got a bunch of friends just showed up on a cruise ship, and it took them forever to get off the ship. So I told Tiffany, I'm like, we're going to probably be a few seconds late, and I made it. Not 1 minute, not even a whole 60 seconds. So we did it. We pulled it off.
Hopefully one of these days you'll be picking me and Deanna up.
Anytime any of you show up, I'll pick you up. But absolutely, it'd be wonderful to see you guys down here, Dave Burris. It would be wonderful. So, Tiffany, what are you going to do for us today? Nope, can't hear her. What did I do? Why can't I hear her? I can't hear you. Can you guys hear Tiffany? No.
Nope, not at all.
Try it again, Tiff. I don't know what's going on.
Can you hear me now?
We got you now. Check that out. Look at how you did that.
I'm not on Verizon either.
No, you're not. You're on Restream.
Basically, what I've done here is a class project. One of the things we learned how to do in the 18-week course, and it's a reverse chevron wrap. But today I'm going to teach people how to do a basic decorative end wrap. I won't know exactly what I'm going to do until I get to that.
Okay.
It's just something that pops up out of my hands. My hands take over and comes up with something.
All right. Well, we'll get you into that in a little bit, but I want to go back to your dad here, and I want him to explain to everybody how you could do this for a living. But first of all, it's Fishing Booker Thursday, and we always show a cool video. We'll have a cool video up for a little bit for you guys to show you about Fishing Booker. But anywhere on the planet Earth that you're at and you need to find a boat to go fishing, and a lot of us, we don't know everybody on the planet. We know some people, but you might end up in Dubai, or you might end up in Egypt, or you might end up in Canada, and you need someone to go fishing with. All you got to do is put fishingbooker.com on your phone and tell them how many people you got and what you're kind of looking for, and they'll throw a whole plethora of boats up on the screen, and then you can pick out through their reviews who you want to fish with and who fits into what you want to do. It's kind of a unique deal. The internet's crazy how it works like that. So check out fishingbooker.com, and we'll show you a cool video about it here in a minute. But Dave, tell everybody about how they can get involved in making rods and getting paid to make rods after Tiffany teaches them how to make them.
All right. Well, there are some huge advantages to starting your own rod building side hustle or main gig. I'll give you about 6 advantages here real quick. One, it's a home-based business. So no commute, work in your pajamas, work the hours that you want. You know, if you're a middle of the night person, hey, it's not a problem. In fact, rod building is just quiet enough that if you got family members sleeping in the household, you'll probably won't get beat up for it. It'll probably be okay. 2, very low startup costs. Not many businesses have that. You can literally start your business for under $1,000. That would include Tiffany's class. Boy, like I said, there's just not many home-based businesses or any kind of business that you can start for that low of a startup cost. 3, you've got great choices, like trading your work for fishing trips or or earning cash income or a combination thereof. I mean, for example, if you were to build a suite of maybe 4 custom rods for a charter operator, um, that might earn you a charter trip that's worth 3 times what you put into it. Or if you were to build a suite of rental rods for a open party boat captain, well, you might get a season pass on that boat. So you've got some real great choices there, or just run it as a business and go pure cash income. 4, you got high upside branching out opportunities, such as wrapping golf clubs and pool cues. Those are 2 markets, and there are more that we could talk about, but those are 2 very large markets that are just kind of waiting to be explored. And the same things that Tiffany will teach you are totally applicable there. For example, Captain Tiffany has a golf club on her wrapper on the table right now, and she's putting a handle on it for someone. Now, I joked with her and told her, hey, while you're at it, you ought to put some guides on there and maybe a reel seat. So when the golfer goes by the pond over there on the golf course, it serves double duty, I don't think she was going with that idea, but I enjoyed it anyway.
My first thought on that one when you first told me was, do you guys remember the movie Goonies? And one of the characters named Data that always had these off the wall inventions that always went wrong. So when you were talking about a golf club to be used the same as a fishing rod for when they get to, that was the first thing that popped in my head was little Data.
I understand. Okay, another advantage, number 5, is tax advantages are fantastic. Literally every penny you spend on any aspect of fishing is deductible. And that includes your mileage to get to wherever you're going that has anything to do with fishing. And so again, myself, Captain Tiffany, we've relied on this for years. And I'm sure this is a good thing for Captain Dave Hansen too. These tax advantages are fantastic. And And 6, at the trade shows or fairs, get a booth to show your rods, clubs, and cues. And that's a good way to build clientele. And you kind of get to become part of the inner circle of the industry. And that's where real good friendships are made and people help each other out. And it's just a warm and kind of wonderful thing. This is an easy business to start up. And it all begins by signing up for Captain Tiffany's next 15-week master rod building class. She'll teach you everything you need to know from beginning through advanced. And even if you're already an experienced rod crafter, you'll pick up some good tips and you'll learn about Captain Tiffany's style. Sign-ups are easy on her website, vaguerods.net. That's VAGUERODS.net. And while there, check out her prices for all your rod wrapping blanks and components, because she probably beats whoever you're buying from now. Her low prices will boost your profitability when you get your business started. So it's that easy. So think about this as a side hustle or main gig. Start your own rod wrapping business. Just sign up for Captain Tiffany's class. She'll get you going.
Speaking of your class, Tiffany, how's it going with all the members and everybody?
Well, they've been learning a lot the last couple of days. Everybody should be getting, a lot of people have already gotten all their blanks and their components. There's still a few stragglers that haven't told me what they wanted. Some today have told me, so they should be getting in. We've got some surprise guest speakers that are going to be on the class. I'm not going to mention who they are, but a big learning experience going to be happening in the class, but it's a secret who's coming on board this for this class.
Well, that's good. And then what do you think of what your dad just said about these people taking that craft that you're teaching them and then turning it into a business? What a great opportunity, right?
Absolutely. I mean, what better way than to sit down from your house, learn how to wrap rods, learn how to build them with learning from different types, styles of techniques, different designs, different things, different ways, and then turn around and start doing it as a business right after you've learned it. Kind of like in college, you go to school, you learn, whatever skill that you want to learn or whatever you're learning in school, college, and then get out of college, you got to go find your own job, right? Well, what better way than to start this craft, turn around, and it's a business.
Absolutely. It's a phenomenal business too. And Dave Burris, as well as anybody, there's so many people that forget about a whole rod. They need a guide put on their rod. Their favorite rod is missing a guide. And you're wandering around and you're like, who's going to do this for me? The tackle store's not going to. They're busier than heck right now. Everybody's slammed. Everybody's fishing. And then you can put the rod. And Dave Bacon also putting that guide back on that rod. There's an art to that too, because you got to match the thread. You got to make it look kind of like the rest of the rod. So there's so much involved that Tiffany's going to help you to do that. You can branch out and do all kinds of different things with the business motto.
You're right about that, Captain Dave. Matching what a person has on a rod. Sometimes it's such an old rod because it was an old beloved blank, right? And they don't make those components anymore. So you kind of have to get as close as you can. The hardest part, and I've seen Captain Tiffany wrestle with us so many times, is matching the color of the existing guide because the sun has bleached out or changed the color. And so you're being a scientist here, trying to come up with a way to get as close to that color as you can. And I've seen Captain Tiffany here just work some pure chemical magic to make things come out to about the same size. But another aspect of that, Captain Dave, is important because, you mentioned the tackle shops. And especially when things get busy, sometimes those tackle shops could use some help. And you might be able to do some work, some guide replacements to begin with. New tips, guide replacements, things like that for your local tackle shops. And then before long, when you get to know them, pretty soon you're building rods for them. So that's another outlet for this business.
Absolutely. There's just many, many things that could happen from this art of wrapping rods. I mean, Dave Burris was my go-to guy for all the time because they're just, once you find the person that makes what you want, you kind of stick with them. And that's how this whole thing works together, gang. So understand that what Dave Bacon's talking to you about is an absolute truthism, that this artistry in rod wrapping is something that you can just take and go so many different directions in. And Dave Burris, look at what you've done for many captains and so many deckhands over the years.
Yeah, and even tackle stores, the jig stop there in Dana Point, I used to pick up 50 or 60 rods a week and do repairs on them, over and above building rods. So yeah, just that in itself is a business. You just got to really get into it. That's all.
Yeah, and Dave, when you and Tiffany had your business, Tiffany and you could only wrap so many rods a day. It's overwhelming. You can't do them all. You want to, you'd love to be able to, but you can't.
Exactly. We had like 3 other rod wrappers helping out too.
So there's so much potential.
Same thing with reel repair. There just got to be too many of them, especially in season when people bring a rod and a reel in. The rod needs repaired, and so does the reel. And it's Wednesday, and they're going fishing Friday.
Ain't gonna happen, buddy.
Well, but oftentimes you made it happen too. I saw you do it many times, you know?
Yeah, pulling all-nighters for people. Yeah, so yeah, tackle stores, get into the tackle stores after you learn to build rods and show them your stuff. A lot of times you could have them, the icebreaker of the relationship to get to know them, your stuff on consignment. And as they see that, it's selling, or have them buy one or two. But, eventually as time goes on and you build that friendship and that relationship, you're going to be their next rod builder.
Absolutely. For sure. And you don't even know. There's so much potential out there. People leave so much money laying all over the ground, and you guys could start picking it up with just learning how to make a rod, learning how to repair the guides, learning how to fix a reel. Those are true things that we need on a daily basis. That's why I'm so happy that Tiffany and Dave and Dave Burris are part of our website, because this is a missing link. I want to be all inclusive. I want everything come right here, and you can get everything taken care of at Your Saltwater Guide. There's no reason to go outside of the network unless we're all too busy. And I hope to God we all get too busy. That's what I'm hoping for. I mean, Dave Burris, I know you're going through some garbage right now, but that was our dream, right? When we put this thing together back in 2017, was to have the rod building aspect of this. So Dave Burris, I thank you so much for introducing us to Tiffany and bringing this together. You and Bill Varney kind of put this together for me. So thank you very, very much.
Yes. Thank you, Dave.
One thing Dave was talking about, Dave Burris, was the volume, like all those rods he did for that tackle shop, I mean, those were big numbers, and that's kind of what's out there. Dave, how many a week did you say you did for that tackle shop?
Well, there were times when we did repairs of 60. The most I ever picked up was 60 rods in 1 week to repair.
That's a lot, though.
I've done over 10,000 rods between the jig stop and the bent rod in Tustin in my career. So that's a lot of rods, just straight builds. So, yeah, you can be really busy if you want to be.
Yeah, you just have to get your name out there, get out there, show people, go to all the tackle stores, in your area, even outside of your area. I mean, each state's different, but like here, we've got a tackle store, couple of tackle stores within, 1 hour radius. And that's not far to go pick up stuff and bring back.
Well, I was really lucky because I was down in San Clemente area, and there was probably 15 tackle stores within an hour radius.
Oh, you're lucky. I think we have like 5 or 6 in an hour radius, and then there's Bakersfield in LA.
Yeah.
Somebody was mentioning on here, like they were talking about earlier, also the trade shows. There are tons of trade shows, around the United States. If you get into a I can't talk today. A trade show, get a booth and stuff. A lot of people make killing out there with their stuff at trade stores. So I would get into that too.
And it's not just the fishing industry trade shows. You can go to county fairs, you can go to all kinds of things, and you can bring your fishing rods. But if you've branched out into some of the other areas, like I mentioned, golf sticks and golf clubs, cues, and there are plenty of others out there that you can do as well. I'm thinking of Doc Ski's well-wrapped walking stick.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And there's a lot of walking sticks out there. So there's so many. It's so applicable to so many different things that you can go into almost any kind of show and you can find a market there.
Yeah, pool cues do pay pretty good, by the way.
Yeah,
golfers do too.
Not a lot. Just to throw it up on your lathe and just run straight 2 or 3 color wrap all the way down it, and that's it. And they pay good. So just so everybody understands that.
Now, before we go any further, gang, I just want to show you this cool little commercial I cut with Fishing Booker. It's not very long, but check it out. It kind of covers exactly what we were talking about before. And then at the end, grab the QR code because you're going to save $50 on your next trip wherever you're going to go fishing at. Check this out. Well, alrighty, gang, fishingbooker.com. If you're anywhere on the planet and you want to go fishing, and I know you all do, or you wouldn't be watching this show, wherever you are, go to fishingbooker.com, put in how many people you have and exactly where you're at, and they'll find a boat. They'll find the best guides on the planet to take you out fishing to make your vacation even more than it already is. Fishingbooker.com has a guide and a boat for you and your family. Go to fishingbooker.com, and at the end of this, look at the QR code, use that QR code, and you'll save $50 off your next Fishing Booker trip. Pretty cool, right? Pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good stuff. We didn't have that kind of stuff when we were kids, wandering around trying to figure out where to fish and not really knowing who to go with. So check out fishingbooker.com. And then Tiffany, we got a new thing we want to show everybody here, how Tiffany's, you got a couple minutes to show them how you're going to set this wrap thing up?
Sure.
Do you really?
Sure. For you, anything.
All right. Here we go. I'm going to pull.
Slide this over a little bit because that's one of the. There we go.
I'm going to pull Dave Burris and your dad and me off the screen, and we're going to watch for a minute, okay?
Okay. Give me like a couple seconds for my brain to kick in on what I'm going to do.
All right. We're all back then. You tell us when you're ready, when your brain kicks in. Your dad's been waiting for that day for a long time. So she's going to show you guys a little bit of cool wrapping, what's going on. She's going to talk about how she puts it together and everything. This is kind of cool. She's got her camera ready. I don't know if you see it up in the top corner, but we're going to go full screen here, and you can explain to everybody what you're doing. Is that cool?
Yeah. I'm just basically playing here. So I'm going to bring this over here. I'm just going to do something different. This is like basically the same way that you can start your thread in the classes. Let me see. Basically in the classes, you'll get the same view that I get. And a lot of people, when they start wrapping their threads, they'll start like a 2 wrap. Some people will do a 5 wrap. Some will do a single wrap when they're starting. So this one's just a double wrap, and I'll show you again just in case you didn't get the visual of it. So you got your string here, and you're basically going to just wrap it around, put your thumb down to hold it, wrap the line another round, and you want to snug it up to that line and then cross over, and then you can just wrap it some more. And that's basically how you start your wrap, whether it's a decorative end wrap or if you're the starting of your main design or whatnot. And that was something that a lot of people had asked to show, and that's basically how you start it. Now over here, what I'm going to do, move the camera. It's kind of hard to work around the camera, but in the classes, that same view of what you saw of me walking you through it, that's exactly what we do in the classes. So you're not getting a view of, left field, or you feeling like you have ADHD, or you're feeling like you have dyslexic, because you're seeing the same view that I see. Now in here, I'm just going to do probably a basic single inlay. Let's do to show you how that works. Same thing, double it. And you try to make it just along here. Now, everybody does their inlays different. Not one person usually does the same. Doesn't work unless you have pink scissors. Just kidding. So I'm going to do a couple inlays. I'm going to do, I guess, a fade. Since this whole thing, kind of make it match. So basically lay your line like that. Draw it down. Put your finger on top. Hold tight. And you want to wrap it about as straight as you can get it. Now bear in mind, this is my first wrap since I got back from surgery. Cut your thread. And you can also have pre-length threads made too. If you want to do it 2 times around with the single leg 2 times, pull it right as next to you. Back it up so you can have it straight, or you can just make it a single lay. If you decide single, after you've gone what's around, you want to secure this tag line down by crossing over and, making it a couple wraps around. In this case, I'm just going to do 1 because I'm going to add another color. You see how I did that?
Yeah.
You just put it in, bring it down, put your finger on. Now this side right here is what I call the dirty side. This is where you're connecting everything. And I'm getting a different look on this now. And I'm not being too careful like normal because just kind of giving you an idea of what to do. Cross over again. And then just kind of bring that thread back so that you can get it as tight to it as possible. Try another color. Now, when people first starting, this is what there's going to look like. And here's where I'm going to show you something you don't want to do. And for those of you that wrap forever, don't say anything because I'm doing this for people can see what's different. Now, you see how this line is kind of going off to the left and back down. This line, same thing. This line, same thing. That happens when people who are first starting are not paying attention to what they're doing. They don't have their main line, which is this piece right here that's connected to, your whole cage and everything. That's not from it being side by side. This is from letting this main line go gap over, so it's not side by side lines. Does that make sense? So backing it all up, because I don't like that. Now I'm going to do it with a different color over this black so that you can get an idea of what happens when you don't go straight. Let me set this up real quick. It's also hard to work around the camera. So if I were to go here, or if I were to start here, I'm going to start on this side so you can see because the camera's kind of there. See how I'm placing this right over it? Let me show you again. See how I'm placing it right over side by side the line? That's how you want to do it. You don't want to do it where you're like this. Just side by side, you want to keep it taut. See the difference? Now, if you want to do it where you make like a fade, I like going dark first. I'm going to wrap it 2 times around. Give it a little end piece to it. Here's my tag in. Now I'm going to go dark to light. Now from here, you can either make your fade the next color, which would be a lighter color. You can either do it right after it, or you can do two rolls so that there's some sort of separation. But you see here where this line and this line kind of cross, or not cross, but one goes past the other. You can take this and gently pull it up to where it's right next to it, like that. Or you can also, on a fade, I'll back it up a little bit. Right there where it meets, cross over. Very little gap between the two. Or you can pull it just slightly to where it almost touches. And then you can add your second color. By doing the same thing, running it up your main line. Now you want to make it right where the first one met. Keep the dirty part on the dirty side. Put your finger on top.
I'd like to add one thing there, Tiff.
Yeah, go for it.
When you're doing that, it's best if you can line up all of those starts and stops,
Yep.
all the blends, and all the tips of diamond wraps, all in one straight line on the bottom of the rod.
Correct.
When somebody looks at it, they turn the rod over. It doesn't look like a dirty side.
Right.
It looks like somebody did it with planning. Okay.
Right. But most people aren't going to be able to do that when they first start. It's going to come out all jaggedy.
Right, but that's what you're practicing for. That's why you continually wrap, and that's why that's so important, because that's what you're striving for. Is so everything lines up.
Exactly. And I'll take the next color. Pull it up. If I can get it around there. Put your thumb on it. and roll it.
Let me ask you another question. Why don't you tension that black line?
Because right now I can't, because that requires me to be in a different position. This is the first time I'm back on being able to wrap, and I'm only allowed to wrap for 15 minutes intervals. But normally the thread is on a thread tensioner,
Right.
and you have it taut. But right now I've got to do it by hand.
Need an extra hand?
I'm sorry?
I said you need an extra hand at that point.
Yeah, I don't have that. But yeah, you'll have the tensioner, and that all comes with like the Alps wrapping machines, which this is, and then it comes with the forecast. So you'll have all that. And in the classes, I show them how to, put the tensioner together, and I do have the tensioner, but like right now, like I said, I cannot, I have to use it by hand at the moment. So you have to use your hand as a tensioner. But eventually I'll be able to do that. Just not today.
In the comments, Devo Cruz says you'd be an amazing arterial surgeon, Tiffany. I'm just trying to figure out what all those arteries, how well they would work with fades and cross wraps and reverse chevrons and all of that all the way down those arteries.
Just don't tear the main artery.
But I appreciate the comment.
Gang, if you're enjoying this, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe button. And if you're not enjoying this, hit the like button and the subscribe button. And in a few minutes, Dave and I are going to talk about a man we watched growing up who we lost yesterday. Big name in the industry. I mean, he was one of the calming things to watch on the weekends for me whenever I had time off, watching Flip Pallet, and his TV show was second to none growing up for me. It was definitely one of the two watch shows that I watched all the time besides Inside Sport Fishing. Flip had just a way, didn't he, of just bringing it all home, Dave?
Who passed away, David?
Flip Pallet.
Oh, no way. Oh, wow. Oh. Well, I guess in time we all have to go at some point.
None of us are getting out alive.
No, that's a fact. Going through what I'm going through, I'm learning that fact.
It all looks like so many lines going so many different ways. And then when she gets to a certain point, she clips it all off. It tightens up. She puts some clear stuff over it, and it ends up looking just unbelievable. And that part always sort of amazes me. Tiffany, your fingers took over and your mouth got quiet.
I'm picking out a different color.
Yeah. Try to remember there's a bunch of people watching that want to know what the hell you're doing.
Oh, sorry. I'm having fun because this is the first time I've wrapped in months. So I'm just like, oh, what color, what color, what color? I feel like a kid in a candy store right now. So let's see. Because I thought about showing a little trick here with an olive branch or something, and you know, these are all single inlays, but I was thinking of showing something else. So I'm gonna take this off and show a simple olive branch to somebody, or to everybody, so those that have never done this before aren't getting confused with the single inlays. So this is going to be something very simple, and I'll take time. And we really go into olive branches in the classes. And I'm getting used to the thread again, because y'all know I've had spinal surgery and hadn't been able to wrap until today. So now I'm just going to wrap a couple of times. Going against what the doctor said.
It hasn't been 15 whole minutes yet.
No, but knowing me, I'll be sitting here doing this the whole entire time, and then everybody's going to come in and be like, your time is up.
No, your dad's right here. He's going to shut you down in a minute. But this is pretty cool to watch it, and to be in here for when you first wrap again after that phenomenal operation to make you more powerful. A $6 billion woman.
Now you see how I'm using my thumb. I got long nails, but this is the reason why. Is I'm running it along so that, you know, you make it a straighter line. You could also, you know, when you're done with your thing, you can also line it your refurbishing tool on it as you're spinning it to make it straight. But I got in a habit of doing it this way. Okay, now I'm going to change colors real quick, or add a color. I'm going to go into one of the very many ways of an olive branch. And there's many ways to do this. So after you've got you can do this in between fades, you can do it in between single lay, you can do it in between a double inlay. And what I showed you before was a quick single leg inlay. We'll picture the same thing, but instead of one string, it's two strings side by side of the same color. But here's how we do the olive branch. It's one of my favorite designs. So you're going to slide it up here, cross it, pull up. Now, when you get there, if you pull down, and see how I did that, you can make it the length that you want it to make as far as the little branch here. Wrap it around again and pull up. Wrap it around again and pull up. If you get too tight, just kind of pull it down and you can make it long again. And you're going to do that all the way around. See if I can remember how to do this from not doing it for so long.
Hey, a comment I'd like to make about this is that notice where the camera is. A problem with taking an in-person class offered by some is that you're like out in the audience and you're looking at the rod building happening from kind of the opposite perspective of the person doing it. When Tiffany does her online classes and she's showing people, she uses this angle to show people what to do from the view of where the people are going to be looking at when they're doing it. And you know, I think this is really the only way to do it. I think it's really a kind of a cheap shot to show it from outside at a different angle because it's so hard to really learn and get the nuances of it. But this angle, looking right down from the rapper's perspective, is like pure magic. It's like when I used to teach fishing classes at a local city college. When I was teaching knots, I would sit down and get all the students up and sort of do this big semicircle behind me and get their phones out and photograph me or video me tying the knot so that they could see it from the perspective that they're looking at. That is really important. I'm glad Tiffany does this in her classes.
Okay, after I've done that part, I wrap it once around and then back under. And you see how I'm going to push it by wrapping the black one time around and then pull it, that one single strand, towards the branches. Then go back to doing the same thing and wrapping it, and see how you get like little, what I call chicken feet. You can see the little chicken feet.
Yeah.
I'm just doing this so you can get an idea. It's nothing fancy. Sometimes we'll add different colors to it, different things. I'm not paying too close attention on making sure that each of the olive branches are the same size, but just giving you a quick idea of how to do it.
And then finish it off because you're done. Your time is up.
Okie dokie.
I'm not going to get a spanking from your dad.
Good point, my friend. Good point. She needs to. Her doctor says it's time to wrap this up.
It's time.
She will never be finished. Just the reality of this. But time to wrap it up.
Yep, 15 minutes. That's all you get. You went over already, so. And your doctor's probably watching the podcast, so we're all in trouble.
She fishes too. And that's basically all it is.
So there you go. We're going to take that view down so she stops, Dave Bacon. There you go. Thank you, Tiffany. That was cool. I don't know any podcasts that have ever done that before. And what the really cool part about this, gang, is it's allowing you guys to see what the classes are like her father keeps saying. This is such a cool thing because you guys are getting invited in to the inner workings of the rod building thing, and you're getting to see what being a part of Tiffany's group and being in the class is really like. And the way she explains things and slows it down and goes backwards and forwards and over again, it's kind of cool. I think you're going to have to keep an eye on her, though, on Sunday night, Dave, now that she's got the bug back.
Oh, I know I will. And I also know, because I've known her for a while now, that it will do me absolutely no good.
Oh my gosh. So for a few minutes, let's just talk about Flip, because I don't know about you, Dave Bacon, but he made a big impression on me, and his voice and the way he described things, and his TV show was pretty epic to watch. Did you ever have a chance to watch him?
Yeah, and there are just defining characters in our industry and probably most industries that just help define who we all are, help define what we all stand for, how we go about doing things, and the pride and the passion we have in what we do. And and that's exactly, people like that just need to be celebrated because really they help make us who we are.
Yeah, Dave Burris, you watch Flip many times in the mornings, and it was pretty spectacular to see how he would describe the fishing thing. It kind of all encompassed everything I was about.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, David. That's sad, but it's part of life. Everybody has to go at some point. All I can say is rest in peace.
Yeah, I just wanted to give him a few seconds here on our podcast because we all do, as far as those of us in the industry of teaching and bringing it in and bringing it home and turning it on to kids. He had a huge, huge part of that in my life anyway, trying to and watching how he presented everything all the time and how he worked so clean, and he was so involved in the guys that took him fishing, plus the people that they took fishing. He showed us exactly how to act on the boat and how to be a good patron of our industry, for lack of a better way to describe it. He really turned us on to how to act in the industry. He's a little bit older than the three of us, but I got a lot out of watching him for sure. So I just wanted to take a second to give him his due. It's sad. I know none of us are getting out of here alive, but Flip, you are a big part of my life. So thank you for everything you did for me.
Agree, 100%.
And then that being said, Tiffany, you got your class coming up to Sunday night, and then it's time for people to start signing up for the next class, right? Because it's going to fill up quick if this first class was any indication.
It's already, we haven't even really started advertising for it, and it's already a quarter of the way filled up.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. And when does that class start?
That's going to start October 4th. It's a Saturday because we still have the Sunday class because they're, courses. They're not 1 and 2 days. So October 4th, the new 15-week course starts, and it'll be on Saturdays.
All right.
And the way we're doing the one she's doing now is on Sundays. The next one she starts up will be Saturdays. And then the one after that will be back to Sundays. So folks that have just some real rigorous calendar challenges there can pick the class that they want to be in, Saturday or Sunday.
And the same thing with this class, you get a free rain shadow blank with the class too.
That's so cool. That is a huge plus. Just to get the blank is an amazing deal, let alone learn how to wrap a rod.
Yeah, not everybody gets the same blank. I mean, there's a whole list of blanks that each of the student gets to pick from. And we go through each of the blanks of what they're made out of, their actions, their powers, yada, yada, yada. And then they pick out which blank out of those lineups that they want.
Doesn't get much better than that. And like your dad was saying, Tiffany, real quick before we end the show, talk about the advantages to being a part of your vaguerods.com, being a part of the whole thing, how you get discounts on all the things that you have over there, reel seats and guides and thread and blanks, and just go over that for a few minutes before we're done.
Okay.
But first,
go ahead.
It's vaguerods.net.
.net, sorry.
And the reason we use .net is because we use nets in fishing.
I like it.
Go ahead.
Well, one of the advantages that we do is, if you go onto vaguerods.net, everything on the website's up to 40% off. We try to keep everything low so that the students can, learn how to build stuff and not have to spend $15 million on a whole setup. So they get their rod wrappers at a discount price, all their supplies, all their tools, all their blanks. The 15-week course takes, you'll make a couple of different rods. You get one free one to start out with, and we try to keep the costs down. And so that's a major advantage of it. Plus, you'll learn how to make all sorts of different designs. You'll learn all about the different blanks and from several different manufacturers. And you'll also learn just down to the root of it, not just here's a 2-day class, let's slap the stuff together. You really got to learn about rod building, not just how to make something pretty.
Yeah, and I like the fact that you're backed up by Bill Batson, who can't talk any more highly about you than he already does, and then to have Doc Ski come on here and talk so highly of you, and everyone knows you and your father, and you know that David's always going to talk highly of his little girl, but when you see Bill Batson and Doc Ski saying the same things, and then none of it's possible without the phenomenal products coming out of Batson Enterprises. So that really is, that just puts a stamp on it and tells you that she is who they say she is, because Bill Batson's backing you 100%, and there's not a bigger name in the game than that guy.
Nope. And we have surprises. This is one of the surprises. A lot of times they come on to one of the courses. I'm not going to say what date they come in. It's a surprise, but Doc Ski goes on there. Bill Batson goes on there. Keller goes on there. A lot of different people from the industry come on to our classes to show you their way. And so they get, an opportunity, especially those that are thinking about going to into business. There's your start of your connections to the industry.
Absolutely. And when they find out they were connected to your father and you, that's going to help out tremendously also. I want to thank Dave Bacon and Dave Burris for joining Tiffany and I. You find Tiffany and I here every Thursday at 12 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And Tiffany's this is a part of the industry that's super important. Your father talks about it all the time. Dave Burris talked about it before you guys got involved. This rod building thing and ergonomics of how to hold the rod and where to have the grip and where to have all this stuff is stuff that our followers are learning, and now it's getting bigger and bigger and the machine's rolling along. So to have you guys as part of this and always willing to jump on here and share your knowledge with our viewers, I thank you all for that. And Tiffany, thank you for being a part of this every Thursday, and I hope I'm helping you out a little bit, because you're helping me out a whole bunch.
You're helping me out a lot, and I'm helping you out some.
Well, it's a big family affair, and it's all about sticking together, gang, because as Dave Bacon and Dave Burris and Bill Varney and myself and everybody at CCA and my sister especially, we're on a mission to try to keep our industry open. Unfortunately, there's a lot of entities out there with way more money than we have that want to close it, gang. And we have some huge closures coming up. It's super imperative to stay alert and stay prepared. And we're all going to show up at the next Fish and Game Commission meeting, because we already showed them we care. We scared the heck out of them last time. We're all going to show up again this time. Support CCA, California. Always support CCA. And one thing I want to leave everybody with, Bass Pro Shops on the 13th, they're giving the 13th at the Bass Pro Shop, September 13th, they're giving away the Star Tournament. The top 10 prizes are getting given away. And then the next day on the 14th at 12 o'clock till 2 o'clock, the Your Saltwater Guide Gang is going to be at the Bass Pro Shops. I'm going to be doing a seminar. I got 2 hours on the stage with Justin Bottrell and myself, and all of you are invited to be there. I would be so jazzed if you all showed up. If your dad, yourself, Dave Burt, everybody showed up. The more the merrier. There's going to be tons of people there that watch you on Thursdays, know who you guys are. You guys have been in the circuit for a long time. Let's get out there and touch everybody and try to keep our industry open. Don't miss. If you can't be there for the drawing, on the 13th. Be there on the 14th. It's going to be incredible. It's a Sunday. There's no reason why you can't make it. We're going to have a bunch of giveaways. I talked with Okuma. They're going to support us. Promar's going to support us. We're going to have a bunch of giveaways from Deckhand Sports. We are going to take care of you guys because you guys take care of us. But let's show Bass Pro the power of your saltwater guide by showing up. The more the merrier. Share this with all your friends. If you can't make it, send a friend or a family member. Let's show Bass Pro Irvine. The Bass Pro Shop in Irvine. That's downtown home for me, gang. That's Dana Point. San Clemente is where we were born and raised. You know who we are. Show up. Do me a favor and show up on Sunday. It'll be incredible on the 14th. You got anything else, guys?
Bass Pro in Irvine, David?
Bass Pro in Irvine, September 14th, 12 to 2.
Hey, my last comment is I just want to thank all the folks who are entering comments on the side of our screen here. There's some good comments, good questions, and I enjoy reading them and answering them, and thank you to all of you.
Thank you very much. Tomorrow's show, we're trying to stick the guy. We don't know if he's coming or not. We'll see if I can't announce it because he hasn't inked it yet because he's fishing right now. Mm-hmm. So if he can be on the show tomorrow, he'll be here, but I don't want to say the name because if he doesn't make it, I don't want anybody thinking, oh my God, he didn't even show up. So it'll be a good show regardless tomorrow. But thank you all. Like Dave Bacon said, thanks for all the comments. Thanks for all the likes. Thanks for always being there for us. And Tiffany and Dave, thank you guys and have a great day. Turn off the news. They're all lying. This is the only place you get the truth, and we'll be back with more truth tomorrow. You might not like it, but it's still the truth.